raid or he'd lose the war. And so he supported tighter budgets, not real tight, tighter budgets, and the economy was growing well. So those two came together. We actually had balanced budgets for about 4 years, the late 90s, up until 2001. It wasn't all the doing of 2000, September 11, 2001. It was also a recession that President Bush inherited from President Clinton. But be that as it may, when we get it back, and I don't know when we will, but we've got to fight to get it back. When we get it back, we've got to have a much greater commitment to voting to not just slow the rate of growth, but actually cut government spending. It is totally unsustainable as it's currently.
Yes, Mr.
I don't know how long Doug wants me to go, but I'll be happy to take this question.
Mr. Goodlatte, when the healthcare bill passes, in your view, will the constitutionality of it be challenged?
You bet. That is our last. And I think, I don't know what the Supreme Court will do about this. You just never can tell. But I truly believe that telling somebody that they have got to buy a product from another private entity, and I'm sure most people in this room would say that a lot of things the government does through taxation and government programs are also unconstitutional, but this is taking things to a whole new level when you have the government tell you you've got to go to somebody else and buy insurance from them, which, by the way, the government will tell that company what kind of insurance they have to offer, because there's so many regulations. 140 new government agencies and programs in the House bill, including a new government insurance commissioner at the health insurance commissioner at the federal level, who's always been handled at the state level before, to tell the insurance companies what have to be in private insurance policies. Well, the Democrats say, oh yes, that's just interstate commerce. And the Commerce Clause of the Constitution allows the government to tell you you have to buy insurance, just like car insurance. Two things about that. Number one, car insurance is done by the states, which are operating under a very different set of principles than the federal government. But number two, they don't tell you you have to buy insurance for yourself. They say in order to use the public highway and make sure that if you're a bad driver and you harm somebody else or their property, that will be covered. We're going to require you as a privilege of using the roadway that you have insurance against damage you cause to others. That is very different than this. And basically if a court says that this is interstate commerce, they have taken away all meaning. They're close to it now, but they haven't gotten this far. They have had a few Supreme Court cases in recent years. For example, a federal law that prohibited the sale of guns within 500 yards of a school. They said that's not interstate commerce. It said the same thing about provisions in the Violence Against Women Act. So here, the point is this. If you decide as an individual not to buy health insurance, where's the commerce at all? Never mind interstate commerce. It's inaction. They would be telling the government that it has the right to regulate your inaction. And if they can do that, they can do absolutely anything to you. So that Supreme Court case, which I hope will come, I feel confident it will come, but I hope it will get all the way to the Supreme Court and get there as quickly as possible to derail this thing, will be of absolute monumental importance. Thank you for bringing that up.
Bob, just to add to what Barbara said, this afternoon we said get the message out every day, and to build on that, when I was out doing errands today on 960 AM, they made an announcement every time they did the local news that there's going to be a huge rally tomorrow at Senator Webb's office here in Roanoke. And the amount of people I see here tonight would certainly add to that number, and I think it would be very helpful. It's going to be between noon and 2 o'clock. So those of you that are working can even go on your lunch hour. But to build on what Bob said, getting the message out every day. Tomorrow's a new day, and we get a big, strong message out. Not just the Republican Women's Group, but everybody here can go down.
Do you have the address for his office?
Chaparral. Yeah, Chaparral,
Chaparral
off
Drive.
419,
Tea
right,
Party.
Barb?
If you go to RoanokeTeaParty.com, all the information on the rally, we're out there on the front page, so hope that big crowd there tomorrow. And if you guys can come out and support.
The more people that come out, the more you'll help the Tea Party get the kind of media attention that they need to put some pressure on Senator Webb. If 20 people show up, it'll be a victory for Jim Webb. If 200 people show up, that's gonna be great. If 1,000 people show up, it'll be all over the news and might make it beyond the news of this area.
How about a recall election for our senators? Would that be a good idea?
I'm not aware of any procedure like that that exists under Virginia law, and there's certainly none that I'm aware of under federal law. So you probably can't recall your senators, like they recalled the governor of California, the guy who served before Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was based on California law. I may be wrong, but I'm not aware of any Virginia law that allows for a recall petition.
Is there any plan in the, on the National Republican Party to come up with another national agenda for the 2010 elections to nationalize the local elections like the Contract America?
Great question, great question. I'm a strong advocate of that. In fact, I'm working on one for myself. As I run this year, I'm gonna have my own, I'm not sure what we'll call it yet, an agenda for America's future or something like that. That I will put forward where people can see exactly where I stand on all these key issues that face the country. Everything from, energy policy and cap and trade to healthcare reform to education to taxes and spending and immigration and obviously issues like gun owners' rights and life issues and so on. I think that we as a party ought to do that too. But I don't think that that has been resolved yet. Now, first of all, there's still time to do that. I remember when we did the contract with America, we only unveiled that less than 2 months before the election. And it was way late. We were probably into like early September. I'd have to go back and see the exact date. So there's still time to do that. But you make a very good point, because I think that while we have got anger out there, it's not all, directed at the Democrats. There's a lot of people who are concerned about what Republicans will do if they get back in the majority. And we've got to convince them that we're going to do something similar to what we did when we had the contract with America. Then it's up to you, will you stick with it once you get that majority back? But that, I think, is where the conservative focus has to be. Not just, yes, you're mad at Barack Obama, you're mad at your Democratic House and Senate members who are voting for all of these things, but you also have something to believe in. Something that says there's hope, something that says there's a better way, something that says that America can reclaim those values that are set forth in our Constitution and that were reflected in many aspects of our economy, our society, our lives for most of the duration of our country. Unless we can take it to that next step and capture that imagination and enthusiasm, I don't think we get back to the majority. And I don't know where that leads us, but it doesn't lead us to a bright spot.